Othello, one of the most influential plays of all time. Major characters: Othello, the Moor, a much respected and accomplished general in the Venetian military who's nursing some massive insecurities. Desdemona, Othello's wife, a Venetian noblewoman. Iago, Othello's ensign, who is out for revenge after having been passed over for a promotion, the ultimate Shakespearean villain. Cassio, young, handsome, charming, and recipient of the promotion Iago felt he deserved. Emilia, Iago's wife, poor thing, and attendant to Desdemona. Rodrigo, a wealthy but disgruntled former suitor of Desdemona, a pawn in Iago's plot to destroy Othello. The story. The play opens in Venice with an argument between Rodrigo and Iago. Rodrigo, a wealthy but foolish nobleman, had been paying Iago to help him win the hand of the beautiful Desdemona and is upset by the news of her marriage to Othello. Rodrigo lashes out at Iago, who is himself seething with resentment for Othello, who had recently passed him over and promoted the younger, less experienced Cassio to lieutenant. Iago convinces Rodrigo to inform Desdemona's father that she has been stolen and beguiled into marriage by Othello's use of witchcraft. Othello enters the scene and explains that it was his stories of travel and adventure that had won Desdemona over, not witchcraft, which Desdemona herself confirms. By the end of his defense, Othello has gained everyone's sympathies, though not without receiving a prediction made by her own father of Desdemona's betrayal. News comes that the Turks are planning an invasion of Cyprus. So Othello, with Desdemona, Iago, and Cassio, are all sent off to defend the island. Upon arrival on Cyprus, Othello is informed that the Turkish fleet has been destroyed in a storm. Othello calls for a feast to celebrate the averted war. Iago starts feeding Othello's insecurities by suggesting that there might be something inappropriate going on between Desdemona and Cassio. At the same time, Iago convinces Rodrigo to start a public brawl with Cassio in order to shame Cassio. After his embarrassing fight with Rodrigo, Cassio makes several attempts to make amends with Othello, including appealing to Desdemona for her help. After a series of unfortunate misunderstandings and with Iago's near constant prodding, Othello is convinced that Cassio and Desdemona are having an affair and becomes consumed with jealousy. Iago promises Othello that he will murder the traitor Cassio. Meanwhile, Iago convinces Rodrigo that he must kill Cassio in order to get him out of the way on his path to Desdemona. In the confrontation, Cassio ends up stabbing Rodrigo. Iago comes onto the scene and wounds Cassio before killing Rodrigo in apparent retribution for his attack on Cassio. Othello approaches Desdemona as she sleeps and accuses her of infidelity. She awakens and proclaims her innocence, but to no avail. Othello will not be swayed, and he smothers her. Emilia and Iago enter and ask what has happened. When Othello tells them, Emilia realizes that Iago is behind everything. She clears up the misunderstandings that led to the perception that Desdemona and Cassio were having an affair. Othello begins weeping for his mistake, and Iago flies into a rage and kills Emilia before trying to flee. Unsuccessfully, Othello expresses his regret before killing himself with a sword. Iago is ordered to be executed.